Hey guys, Mrs. Ezzy here. I am going to show you step by step some more in-depth ways to create these folk art drawings for your landscape. And I gave you these different examples of practices for the day. And you can either follow along with me or you can start to create on your own, but this is just a practice day. And I want you to practice some of these different examples so that when we create our total picture next week, you're ready. The horizon line, I'm not going to demo for you because it's just the line. You have to decide if you want a high, low, or curved horizon for your drawing. And I showed you the difference between that here. So to make some of the buildings, we're going to start with simple shapes. I showed you on the directions some simple shapes of, you can start with like a square, and then you can add triangle on top. We got to add some details like the little circle. I'm doing this one first if you can't tell. Dot and some windows with the rectangles and squares. So that's one way to make a building. You can see that all I'm doing is changing up the size or the shapes to make different types of buildings. This is like a rainbow for the door. I'm going to do more complex. I'll do the barn. So to make it look like a barn, the big thing that is different is the silo and the door. So it's like you're combining these two first ones almost. Make a curved rainbow, straight line down, some lines. And then most barn doors in this folk art style have a big X on them. And it's just kind of a way to symbolize a barn. All right, the big thing that everybody wants to know how to do is the 3D examples. And for the 3D examples, you start with that same basic house of that square and that triangle. And then you draw 3 lines of the same size off of the corner. So I'm going to draw it kind of at this angle. All right. And then you connect them. Ta-da! 3D. And then you can add your details like the door, the windows, the lines. But once again, all you do is you start with your shape, triangle, square, some lines going 1, 2, 3. And you notice they're at the same angle. They're all at that angle. And they're all the same length. They're all this length. And then you connect them. Okay, so that's your 3D example. And the last one I'm going to do down here is a tree. So the trees are pretty interesting, but they all start with the same shapes. They all start with a circle, and at the bottom, tiny skinny rectangle. And this is what I like to call the kindergarten tree. Now to make it more interesting, you have to add those folk art styles. So we'll do that circle and that rectangle. And this first one has all these branches. These are just little tiny V's off the edges, if you look. So if you go around to the edges and you add some V's, and then you add some lines around your V's. Oh, it's coming together. And then connect them. And then inside there, they put some dots and some more details. Maybe some triangles or squares. All right, same thing here. This is the flower tree. They start with that basic circle or oval shape, kindergarten tree, but inside, that's where they add the circles They add flowers. They add dots. This is how we make it look like folk art. And then the last one is like a swirled line. Oh, did my screen show up? Sorry, my screen. Something must have tapped it. Sorry. Then the last one is just like a curved swirl line. So they start at the bottom and then they curve some lines. Like a spiral. And then for more details, they add little tiny leaves. Okay, so those are the examples of the trees and the buildings. Let's start with those first, and then you can go on to some of the patterns and the extras, the flowers, the fences, and things like that. Okay, enjoy.